3, 2, 1.
High in the remote and forbidding Baian-Kara-Ula mountains, a desolate range straddling the border between China and Tibet, a story was born that continues to challenge our understanding of ancient history. This is a place of stark, windswept landscapes where secrets can remain hidden for millennia, locked away in the very stone of the earth. In 1938, an archaeological expedition, said to be led by a professor named Chi Pu-te, ventured into this isolated territory. They were not searching for visitors from another world, but what they reportedly uncovered in a network of interconnected caves could rewrite everything we think we know about humanity's origins and our place in the universe. Is it possible that the answers to our greatest questions were waiting for us, right here on Earth, all along? The team stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. Inside the caves, they found row after row of neatly arranged burial sites. But the remains within these graves were unlike anything they had ever seen. The skeletons were small, barely reaching 4 feet in height, with frail, delicate frames. Most unnervingly, their skulls were described as being unusually large and out of proportion to their small bodies. Who were these beings? They were clearly not typical humans, and their burials suggested an advanced, intelligent culture that honored its dead. The discovery raised immediate questions that conventional archaeology could not easily answer, pointing toward a forgotten chapter of history that defied all known records. As the archaeologists explored deeper, the mystery only intensified. Buried alongside these diminutive skeletons, they found hundreds of peculiar artifacts. There were 716 of them in total, stone disks, each about a foot in diameter with a perfectly circular hole cut into the center. They looked remarkably like modern phonograph records. A strange and anachronistic detail for a discovery believed to be thousands of years old. What purpose could these objects have served for an ancient, isolated mountain culture? Were they ceremonial items, primitive tools, or something far more advanced? The team had no way of knowing at the time, but they had just unearthed what could be the most significant archaeological find in human history. The sheer precision of the disks was baffling. Each one was carved with a fine, continuous spiral groove that started at the central hole and spiraled outward to the rim. To the naked eye, the groove appeared to be an intricate pattern, but upon closer inspection, it was revealed to be something else entirely. The groove was not just a decoration. It was a line of text filled with microscopic characters or hieroglyphs unlike any script known to man. It was a library of information etched into stone and preserved for ages. The team had found not just bodies, but a message, a story waiting to be deciphered, a story that would challenge the very foundations of our world. The disks themselves are the heart of this incredible mystery. Imagine holding a piece of stone that feels ancient, yet its design seems almost futuristic. These weren't just random flat rocks. They were crafted with a level of precision that suggests a deep understanding of technology and communication. Each disc, approximately 1/3 of an inch thick, was made from a hard granite that would have been incredibly difficult to carve with primitive tools, especially with such microscopic detail. The presence of a perfect hole in the center of each one is particularly significant. Why would an ancient culture drill a hole in the middle of a stone tablet? It suggests the discs were meant to be placed on a spindle and rotated, much like a record on a turntable. The most fascinating feature, of course, is the spiral groove. This continuous line of tiny, unknown hieroglyphs tells us we are looking at a form of writing, a deliberate attempt to record and preserve information. This wasn't art, it was language. The characters were so small that they could only be properly seen with a magnifying glass, indicating a level of craftsmanship that seems far beyond the capabilities of a prehistoric society. If this is true, what message was so important that it had to be painstakingly carved into 716 separate stone discs? It must have been a story of immense significance, a history that its authors were desperate to ensure would survive the passage of time for future generations to find. For years, the discs reportedly sat in storage, their secrets locked away in a script no one could read. Then in the 1960s, a researcher by the name of Dr. Sum Nui was said to have taken on the monumental task of deciphering the strange markings. It was a painstaking process that took him years of dedicated study. According to the tale, he eventually broke the code. What he uncovered was a story so astonishing, so far outside the realm of accepted history, that it was allegedly suppressed by the academic authorities of the time. The hieroglyphs did not describe the lives of a local tribe, they told the saga of beings who came from beyond our planet. The message, as deciphered by Dr. Nui, was an epic tale of survival. It spoke of a people called the Dropa, who were said to be inhabitants of a distant star system. Their spacecraft had traveled through the cosmos, but something went terribly wrong during their expedition to Earth. The ship suffered a catastrophic failure and crash-landed in the treacherous Baian-Kara-Ula mountains. The survivors, stranded and unable to repair their damaged vessel, had no way to return home. They were marooned on a primitive alien world. The disks, according to this translation, were their historical record, a message to anyone who might one day find them. The story carved into the stone disks is one of tragedy and resilience. The Dropa, these visitors from the stars, found themselves stranded in a harsh and unfamiliar environment. According to the translation, the local mountain tribes, the Ham people, were initially terrified of these strange newcomers. The Dropa's appearance was different, and their arrival from the sky was surely seen as a terrifying omen. The legends say that the Ham tribe hunted down and killed some of the weakened Dropa survivors. It was a brutal welcome to a new world. But could it be that this account, passed down through generations, is a distorted memory of a real encounter between early humans and extraterrestrial beings? Over time, however, the narrative changes. The Dropa were peaceful and they had no means of aggression. The spirals on the disk supposedly explain that the Dropa eventually signaled their peaceful intentions. Slowly, the fear of the local tribes gave way to understanding and coexistence. The Dropa, with their advanced knowledge, may have shared information with the Ham people, living alongside them in the caves. This story of first contact, moving from conflict to harmony, is a powerful one. It suggests that even in ancient times, humanity was capable of overcoming fear and accepting those who are different, even if they came from a different world entirely. The disks are the testament to this incredible union. This idea of star people visiting Earth in ancient times is not unique to the Dropa legend. In fact, we see similar stories in cultures all over the globe. The Dogon people of Mali, for instance, possess astonishingly accurate astronomical knowledge about the Sirius star system. Knowledge they claim was given to them by amphibious gods called the Namo, who came from the sky. The Hopi people of Arizona have legends of the Kachinas, spiritual beings who descended from the heavens. Could it be that these are not myths, but fragmented memories of a time when humanity was in regular contact with visitors from other planets? The Dropa story fits perfectly into this global pattern. For those who believe, the Dropa disks are tangible proof of the ancient astronaut theory. They argue that the unusual skeletons, the high-tech appearance of the disks, and the translated story all point to one undeniable conclusion. We have been visited. The disks are not just artifacts. They are a message in a bottle, cast into the ocean of time by a stranded alien race, hoping their story would one day be heard. They are a physical link between our world and another, a piece of evidence that suggests the history taught in our textbooks is incomplete. The believers ask a simple question. Why is it easier to accept that ancient people carved 716 complex disks for no reason than to consider they were recording a real event? Despite the incredible story, there is a major problem for researchers today. The evidence has vanished. Not a single authenticated Dropa disk is available for public viewing or scientific analysis in any museum in the world. This is, without a doubt, the biggest argument used by skeptics to dismiss the entire tale as a hoax. If these disks were real, where are they? I mean, surely an artifact of such monumental importance would be one of the most prized and studied objects on the planet. Its absence is deeply suspicious and leads many to believe that the story is nothing more than a modern myth, an elaborate fiction created to capture the public's imagination. Skeptics point to other massive holes in the story. The key figures, including the expedition leader Chipute and the translator Dr. Tsum Nui, seem to be ghosts. There are no official records of their existence, no academic papers published under their names, and no photographs of them. The name Tsum Nui is not even a plausible Chinese name. It actually appears to be Japanese. Furthermore, the story first appeared not in a scientific journal, but in popular magazines, including a German vegetarian publication. These facts lead many to conclude that the entire narrative was invented, perhaps as a fascinating piece of fiction that spiraled out of control. However, could there be another explanation for the missing evidence? Proponents of the story suggest a massive cover-up. They argue that the disks are so revolutionary, so world-changing, that governments and academic institutions have deliberately hidden them from the public. The revelation that aliens visited Earth thousands of years ago would shatter religious, social, and scientific paradigms. Perhaps the disks are locked away in a secret vault, their existence denied to prevent global panic or a collapse of societal structures. The story of an Austrian engineer who claimed to have photographed 2 disks in a Chinese museum in 1974, only for the disks and the museum manager to disappear afterward, fuels this conspiracy theory. Ultimately, we are left with 2 conflicting narratives. On one side, we have the story of a groundbreaking discovery, physical proof of alien contact in our ancient past, which has since been suppressed by powerful forces afraid of the truth. On the other side, we have the story of a clever hoax, a piece of modern folklore that has been embellished over decades with no factual basis whatsoever. Without the disks, we cannot prove either side correct. The mystery remains because the central piece of evidence is missing, leaving us in a frustrating but fascinating limbo, where belief and skepticism are locked in a perpetual battle for the truth. Whether the Dropa Disks are a physical reality or a well-crafted myth, their story serves a vital purpose. It pushes the boundaries of our imagination and forces us to ask one of the most profound questions of all: are we alone in the universe? Legends like this one are not just idle entertainment. They are thought experiments that challenge us to look at our past with fresh eyes. They encourage us to consider that history may be far more complex and mysterious than we currently believe. Even if the disks themselves are not real, the possibility they represent, the idea of contact, is a powerful driver of human curiosity and exploration. These stories tap into a fundamental human need to understand our origins and our place in the cosmos. The idea that advanced beings from the stars could have played a role in our ancient development is both humbling and inspiring. It suggests that we are part of a much larger, cosmic community. This narrative connects us to the stars, making the vast, empty-looking universe feel a little less lonely. It is the same impulse that drives our modern search for extraterrestrial intelligence with radio telescopes. We are looking for a sign, a message, just like the one supposedly left by the Dropa. The legend gives that search a historical precedent. The enduring power of the Dropa Disk legend shows that humanity is hungry for wonder. In a world often dominated by science and rational explanations, there is still room for mystery. We want to believe that there are secrets yet to be uncovered, ancient truths waiting in a forgotten cave or a lost artifact. These stories fuel our spirit of adventure and remind us that not everything has been mapped, catalogued, and explained. The absence of evidence, in a strange way, keeps the story alive. As long as the disks are missing, there is always the possibility, however remote, that they are real and could one day be found. In the end, the Dropa Disks may be more important as a legend than they would be as a fact. As a legend, they inspire us to question everything, to challenge accepted history, and to dream of what might be possible. They are a symbol of our unending quest for knowledge and our deep-seated fascination with the unknown. Whether the voices of the Dropa are echoing from a stone disk in a secret vault or only in the pages of a story, they continue to speak to us. They tell us to keep looking, to keep questioning, and to never stop wondering about the great cosmic mystery of which we are all a part.